the chapter consumer behavior. So far, we discussed various things, right? That is starting from income of a consumer, okay, and his consuming capacity. Okay, we discussed that. We discussed about different bundles of products. Okay, related with that, we studied cardinal utility analysis. Cardinal utility of different products that related with the two different types of analysis method or analyzing methods. One is a cardinal utility analysis. The other is a ordinal utility analysis. Okay, so in nearly 2 weeks, there is no class for you people. So I want to ask you people some questions. Okay, so tell me, Mr. Tomlin George, what are the differences between this cardinal utility analysis and ordinal utility analysis? Cardinal and ordinal utility analysis.
Cardinal utility can be measured in numbers.
Okay. So
Ordinal
utility of a
utility
can be measured in numbers. Okay, that's what cardinal utility analysis. Right, then accepted. Then ordinal.
ordinal utility. Sir, I forgot.
That's what examination completed. You forgot everything. You wrote, most of you people wrote the answers in the examination. So this kind of knowledge is basically considering as a disposable ones. Okay, so you are learning something for the examination. Not only Mr. Tomlin George, almost all the people are like this nowadays. Okay, you are reading something, you are learning something just to complete the examination, just to write the just to write the examination. After the examination, if you ask something, okay, blank. You people are blank. Okay, so that's not good. Okay, just learn something seriously, not surfing or not just to write the examination. Understand the things properly. Clear. Your answers are good in examination. I observed that I corrected the papers and I sent the marks also. Okay, your performance is pretty good, but you are asking any questions directly. What is the trouble with you people? I can understand that. Okay, so learn properly. Okay, so what is cardinal? Sorry, what is ordinal utility analysis? Anyone? Ordinal utility analysis. What is that?
Cannot be measured in numbers and it is based on the preference of the consumer.
This cannot be measured with any numbers there, right? There's no card numbers applicable to measure the utility of any product. Again, ordinary utility analysis. Okay, basically we are giving ranks as per the preferences of the consumer. Preferences of the consumer. Okay, so it is strictly related with the preferences. Quality of the product might be, right? Clear or not? It's called to be ordinal utility analysis. Ordinal utility analysis, right? Okay, and we studied about average utility and marginal utility. Average utility, marginal utility, total utility. Total utility. That also related with what is that? Cardinal utility analysis. Cardinal utility analysis. Okay. So can anyone tell me that what do you mean by the term law of diminishing marginal utility? Law of diminishing marginal utility. Atul, can you give me the answer? Atul, law of diminishing marginal utility. What is that? Atul. You got the question? Law of diminishing marginal utility. Anyone? You wrote this answer perfectly in the answer sheet there. I observed that. I checked that.
Sir, the law states that as more standard unit of commodities consumed, then the marginal utility obtained from each unit goes on diminishing. Is that right?
Using, right. If you are using additional unit of any product, the utility that we are gaining from that particular product will reduce. Okay, that's called to be the marginal, sorry, diminishing marginal utility, diminishing a marginal utility. So marginal utility or the term marginal is related with adding something extra, adding something extra. Okay, in the case of utility of different products, if we are adding one extra product along with the thing what we are using, definitely we can say that the utility of that second product that what we added, its utility will reduce there. Okay, it's called to be law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, studied about the indifference curve, right or not? Clear? Aparna, tell me what is an indifference curve?
Sir, a curve joining all the points in a
Hmm.
bundle among which the consumer is indifferent. That means he can buy, that means all the whatever he's consuming, he'll get the same level of satisfaction from every bundles.
If income is not changing or price of the commodities are not changing, right or not? Is or no? So the consumer can choose different number of products, different quantity of products. Here, two products only we are using to compare here. That's our model. Two products, right or not? So within that given income and the price, the consumer is able to make changes in the quantity of the product. Okay, number of changes he can make, right or not? That all changes we are able to plot in a on a map, plot on a map. Okay, then after that we can create a graph here. I mean, what we can say, a line there, right? That line is basically considering as that indifference curve. Indifference curve there. There are a number of features are there for an indifference curve, right? What are they, Aditya? What are the features of an indifference curve? What are those features of an indifference curve?
Loss from right.
So connection error with the Aditya.
Higher amount of
Okay, tell me.
difference.
So connection trouble with Aditya. Can anyone? Amal Raj, tell me what are the features of an indifference curve? Amal, are you there?
Sir,
Hmm. You wrote a good answer in the examination. Now I am asking the question again. I am repeating the question. Tell me the answer. You wrote that in the examination, right? You got mark also.
sir,
Tell me the answer now. Come on.
sorry, so it is not a intersect.
Wait, Amal Raj. Wait, I can hear. Anju, Sibi, tell me.
It never intersect each other.
It's never intersect each other. Okay. Two indifference curves never intersect. Right. Then
It's negatively sloped.
negatively sloped. Right. Then
Lines convex to origin.
pardon. Convex to origin. Then higher the indifference curve.
Or the
Higher the indifference curve. Higher the satisfaction. Right. Is that correct? Higher the satisfaction. So learn all these things properly. You are class 11 students. Okay. Application of all these theories are basically leading to your 12th class chapters. Okay, so that we need all these things to learn that chapters, right? So it is compulsory. You should learn all these things properly. That is compulsory. Okay, so that's it. We discussed about an indifference curve, features of an indifference curve. Next we discussed about the demand, right or not? Yes or no? Demand only, right? So what are the things that directly connected with the demand of a commodity or demand for a commodity? The basic things that directly connected with the demand of a commodity, demand for a commodity, what are they?
Price of the commodity and the income of the consumer.
Definitely accept price of the commodity or price of the good and the income of the consumer, definitely, right? Okay, then tell me what are the things that make able to make changes in the demand rather than income and price of the commodity? Anila Mohanan, tell me the situation that can make changes, maybe negative or positive, changes in the demand on a commodity or demand of a commodity. Except income and price of the commodity. What are the other things? No idea. No idea. Grishma? Grishma?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me.
The price of the substitutes,
Price of the substitutes, correct. Then
interest rates,
interest rate, accept. Then
trends and preferences of the consumer,
trends, preferences, okay, of the consumer. Then
advertisement,
okay, advertisements, fine. Then okay, fine. So like this number of factors are there. Those factors are able to determine the demand for a commodity, demand for a commodity. Okay. Then we studied about different types of products, different types of commodities. Okay. Or different types of goods. Okay. What are they? What are the different types of goods we discussed about? Substitute goods, right? Clear. Inferior goods. Then
Normal goods.
goods, right? Substitutes, complementary, inferior goods, then any other types of goods?
Normal.
Normal goods, then okay. Oh, okay. Related with the price of all these commodities, there are always we are able to find the fluctuation in the demand, fluctuation on the demand, right or not? That is compulsory. That's what that area is leading. Okay, so that's called what elasticity of demand. What is that? Elasticity of demand. What do you mean elasticity? That's what the thing we discussed in the last class. Elasticity. What is that? Any idea? So already we know that there are number of factors are there that is able to create changes in the demands. Okay, first of all, price of the commodity and income of the consumer. Price of the commodity and the income of the consumer. Right or not? Yes. Yes or no? So we learned about the budget. Remembering that budget. Okay. So you wrote that answer also in the examination. What is a budget line? What is budget constraint? Budget line and a budget constraint. Can anyone tell me what is a budget line? Can anyone? What is a budget line? Shubham Pal, tell me, what's the budget line? Shubham? No idea. I can hear. Shubham? Muhammad Irfan? Muhammad Irfan. Are you there, Muhammad Irfan? Can you hear me, Muhammad?
Yes, sir.
Who is this? Muhammad. A trouble in connection, I think. Okay. So I'm passing the question to Mr. Karthik. Tell me, Karthik. What's the difference between budget line and a budget constraint?
Sir, a budget line, the line consists of all the bundles which the consumer chooses to buy.
Related with
The bundles that the consumer.
Related with what, basically? Related with the income of the consumer, right?
Yes.
In the consumer. So budget line. That's what the maximum limit, right or not? The consumer is unable to purchase anything more than that line. Okay. Every time he is able to purchase equal to that line and less than that one. Less than that one. Nothing more than that, right? It's called to be the budget line. Budget line. It's going to be constraint is there. So the consumer is unable to purchase anything more than the budget line. So that we studied already, right? Okay, the budget line. Okay. So still you are in a dilemma there. You don't know what are the things basically. So all you people wrote these, what we can say, these equations perfectly, and you explained that in the examination perfectly. If we asking directly means there is no answer. Okay, this is not good basically. Clear? You forgot my talk. Let it. Anyway, want to learn all those things properly. So we know that. Okay, so PX price of the commodity 1 X1 plus price of the commodity 2, that is X2, always is equal to M or less than M. Always equal to M or less than M. What is M here? What is M here?
Of the consumer.
Income of the consumer. Money, income. Then what is that P1? What is P1 here in this equation?
Price of the first good.
Price of the first commodity. That is X1. Okay, the first commodity is called to be X1. You explained this perfectly in the examination, everyone. Okay, almost all people, except 1 or 2 people. Okay, next one, P2, that is price of the second commodity. X2, that's what the price, second commodity, X2. That is equal to M, okay, or less than M. Okay, so M is money income of the consumer. Money income of the consumer. So we are able to find here, okay, the consumer is always able to purchase the product equal to his income or less than his income, income. Then how this budget line will shift, that also we learned there properly, right? Any doubt means you want to ask there. Next, we discussed about optimal choice of the consumer, optimal choice, the maximum choice of the consumer. Okay, where the IC, I mean the indifference curve intersect with the budget line, that is going to be the optimum choice of the consumer, nothing more than that. Clear or not? Yes or no? That is the maximum. That is the maximum. Okay. That is the maximum for a consumer. It's going to be optimal choice. You can see here. Okay. This is the graphical representation of the optimal choice of a consumer. Okay. So the indifference curve intersects, that touches the budget line. That's the optimum point. Optimum points. Okay. So you can see here, where would it be located? The optimum point would be located on the budget line. A point below the budget line cannot be the optimum. Point below the budget line cannot be the optimum, right or not? Okay. So compared to the point below the budget line, there is always some point on the budget line which contains more of at least one of the goods and not less than the other. Okay. So optimum choice point is not less than the budget line. It is always on the budget line, Okay, keep that in your mind. Okay, we moved towards demand curve and the law of demand. Demand curve and the law of demand. So x is equal to function of p. X is equal to function of p, strictly connected with the price of the commodity. Okay, so you can see here, what is that function? Consider any two variables x and y as a function. Is y is equal to function of x, is a relation between the two variables x and y, such as that for each value x, there is a unique value for the variable y. In other words, function of x is a rule which assigns to unique value of y, for which value of x and the value of y depends on the value of x. So both the values are depending each other. Okay. Value of y depend on the value of x. Y is called dependent variable and x is called the independent variable. Okay. So price changing, definitely we are able to find that demand also will vary. There. That's what the demand curve. So x is equal to function of p. Okay, let's keep that equation in your mind there. Okay, so we learned that all. Okay, next one, deriving demand curve from indifference curve and budget constraint there. So we know that, so always the demand for the product is basically or strictly related with the price of the commodity. So price is the only thing that is able to make changes or shift in the demand curve. Okay, so if income of the consumer is increasing, the budget constraint will change, right or not? He is able to purchase something more than that. So first of all, you want to understand the number of things related with the income of a consumer. Okay, so there are a number of functions are there for a consumer related with his income. What are they? What are the functions? What are the functions with income? Any idea? So first of all, we know that, okay, a person, his income is 100 rupees, right or not? 100 rupees. Just imagine, income is 100 rupees. He want to wish, okay, or he can choose how much want to spend from that 100 rupees. And he decided want to spend 80 rupees from that 100. 80 rupees that from the 100. That's called your consumption, right or not? Is that called to be consumption? Okay, consumption here after denoted with the letter C, consumption. Okay, so balance 20 rupees is there. What he will do with that? Balance 20 rupees. Next year, we will study this too. What is that? So out of this 100 rupees, he spent 80 rupees. Okay, he purchased some goods for consumption. Balance is 20 rupees. It is called
Savings.
Yeah, of course, savings. No other words determine or denote that. Okay, savings. Okay, 80 rupees is spent. Balance is almost considering as a. Okay, balance is considering as a 20, right? Is that correct or not? Okay, no changes in that. So this is called to be 100 rupees is the income of the consumer, and 80 rupees is the consumption. That is basically denoted with the letter C, and the balance is 20. That is called to be savings. Okay, savings. Okay, from this savings, okay, from this savings, he can invest money to improve his earning. Improve his earning. Is that correct or not? Yes or no? So instead of 100 rupees, you think about 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees, something like that. A share only he will consume always. Okay. A share of his income is always consumed to purchase the product there. So obviously we know that if the income of the consumer is increasing, what will happen there? So income that increases from 100 rupees to 500 rupees. Okay. If the income is 100 rupees, his spending capacity, or he always used to consume products for 80 rupees. So now here it is, income is increased to 500 rupees. Then what will happen there? It always will remain 80 rupees or more than that. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? So it is simple common sense. Basically, if you think so, we are able to understand that simply. So if it is 100 rupees, okay, he is spending only 80, only 80. So suddenly his income is increased to 500 rupees. Then what do you think that it will remain as 80 rupees, or it will increase or not? It will increase or not? Definitely we can say that as per the consumer behavior, if the income increasing, his spending capacity also increased. We know that. Okay. As a result of that, that might be increased to 250 or something like that. 250, right? Okay, might increase to 250. Chances are there. Chances are there. Okay. So if his capacity to purchase the product that increased. So want to understand one thing, that he want to purchase, right or not? Okay, right or not? So basically he spent 80 rupees to purchase some necessary item. Now his income is increased to 500, means definitely the unit that what we consuming will increase. So demand for that product will increase. Demand for that product will increase, right or not? Is it a correct? Is that correct or not? Okay, demand for that particular product, definitely it will increase. Okay, so that simple logic you should keep in your mind. Okay, so always if the income of the consumer increasing, his capacity to consume also will increase, and his capacity to savings also will increase, right? Capacity to consumption and the capacity to save the money, both will increase. Both will increase. Then it is always depend upon that particular person or particular individual. That's what consumer behavior of the consumer, right or not? Clear or not? Then he or the single individual want to decide what want to do with that extra income. Want to save that money or want to spend that money? That's up to him only, right? So we are not discussing about the savings here. We are discussing about the consumption only. Consumption. Clear. So income of the consumer is increased now. Obviously, what happened? Consumption also increased. So in the market, what will happen there? Demand for those products will increase. Okay. So in microeconomics, we are discussing about a single individual. We're coming in the sense of the entire country. Just think that entire income of the people or each individual in the country that increased. So definitely the demand for necessary products also will increase, right? Yes or no? Demand for necessary products will increase or not?
Yes, sir.
Definitely it will increase. Amal Raj, increase or not? So number of products are there. Basically, we defined that under the head. What is that? Normal goods. Normal goods, right or not? So what is the peculiarity of normal goods? Normal goods. That is strictly connected with the, tell me,
Income.
income of the consumer and price of that particular commodity, right or not? Definitely. Okay, that commodities are called to be normal goods. Normal goods. Clear? Yes or no? Okay, so obviously the demand for normal goods will increase when the income of the consumer increases. Definitely the demand for normal goods will increase. Normal goods will increase. So elasticity of demand says that. Elasticity, what is that? So demand for the product will sometime it will increase are related with the price and income, or number of other factors also are there. We know that various factors are there. They are able to determine the income or able to make changes in the demand, not income but a demand. Number of factors are there. Grishma Joshi already told that what are the trends and fashion, that is able to, or those things are able to make a changes in the demand for a particular commodity. Next one, time. Okay, time, or what we can say that climatical condition or geographical condition, right or not? Okay, next one, what is that? Advertisements that also be able to make changes in the demand for a commodity. Number of factors are there. Here we want to understand that so the elasticity of demand for a particular commodity will change, and it will come to the older position also. There are a number of factors are there that is directly connected with demand for a commodity. So we discussed about normal goods. First of all, normal goods. Okay, what are normal goods? Normal goods, we already know that normal goods are strictly connected with the income of the consumer and price of the commodity. So income of the consumer increasing, demand for that product will increase, right or not? Price of that commodity increases, demand for that product will decrease. That kind of goods are called to be that kind of goods called to be normal goods, right? Normal goods. Okay, next one, inferior goods. What do you mean inferior goods?
When income increases, the demand for that good decreases.
Here in the case, income of the consumer increasing, demand for that product will decrease. Such products are called to be the inferior goods. Okay, can we list some items as inferior goods? Any items are there? Can we make a list of such kind of goods? I mean, that is definitely we can call as inferior good. Any products are there? No, such products are available, right or not? So income is the one that creates such kind of products, Okay, inferior good for one individual may not be inferior good for other individual, right or not? Differences are there. So income of a consumer is increasing. Definitely, he will shift his consumption from one particular good to other. He will think about the quality of the product, right or not? Clear or not? Okay, so that's kind of goods are basically considering as inferior goods. So inferior goods is directly connected with the income of the consumer. Here the thing is, if the income of the consumer is increasing, demand for that goods will not increase, but it will decrease. But in the case of normal good, what will happen there? Normal good, if income increases, demand for that commodities will increase. Okay, clear? That's the only difference. That is the only difference. We want to keep it in your mind. Okay, you want to understand that properly. Most of you wrote that answers well in the examination. Okay, we're appreciating you people. Next one, we know that is substitute and complement. Substitute goods and complements. Okay, what do you mean substitutes? Substitute goods. Tell me.
Instead of one product, we are able to use another product.
Definitely. Okay, substitute goods means instead of one, we can use the other products. Okay, tea is the best what do you substitute for coffee? Okay, vice versa. Clear or like that, number of such products are there. Okay, we are able to substitute. Okay, so price of the substitute is increasing. What will happen here? So price of tea is increasing, definitely.
Demand for tea.
For the coffee.
It will decrease and coffee will increase, right or not? So it is related to the price of the substitute. Okay, demand is connected with the price of the substitutes. Such kind of goods are called to be the substitutes or substitute goods. Next one, complementary goods. Complements. Okay, what are complements? We want to use two goods together to get the satisfaction. Two goods together to get the satisfaction, right or not? So any one is missing, that bundle is unable to provide satisfaction. Okay, example, pen and ink, notebook and pen, like that. Number of things are there. Basically termed as complementary to each other, complementary to each other, complementary to each other, complementary to each other. Next one, shift in the demand curve, shift in the demand curve. We discussed that already, right or not? Strictly connected with what? Price of the commodity, price of the commodity. Okay, price decreases, it will move forward. If it is increasing, move backward. That's what the shift in the demand curve. Next one, market demand, demand. We discussed that also, market demand also we discussed in the class there. Okay, elasticity of demand, that's what the thing what we're discussing here. So elasticity of demand is strictly connected with the changes in the demand of the product, related with the income and the price of the consumer and number of other factors, here. Okay, so we want one more class to complete the chapter. So number of things are there now. Now also you are not that much clear with that. What is the problem? Are you able to understand the things? I just explain these things because that is necessary to explain the elasticity of demand. But I've started. Okay, then I want to explain all those things there. I explained all those things there, and I asked you people there. Not yet started that. Elasticity of demand is not yet started. Okay, we want to discuss that elasticity of demand. The number of things are there connected with that. If you don't know what is indifference curve, if you don't know what is a budget line, if you don't know what are the different types of goods, if you don't know what is maybe demand, unable to explain what demand curve. Unable to explain demand curve. Sorry, elasticity of demand. Elasticity of demand. I'm unable to do that. Okay, so one more day. Okay, so tomorrow or today, tomorrow, you learn all these things properly. Okay, all these things are properly, then only we are able to move forward. We want to understand the things properly. Clear or not? Not just learning. Okay, understand the things properly. Clear? Understand? Okay, any doubts are there related with this? You can ask me. I will explain again. No problem. Any doubts are there related with the any of the things what we discussed already, except elasticity of demand? Elasticity of demand still not started. Okay, tell me. Any clarification? Amal Raj. Amal Raj.
Yes, sir.
Any clarification needed?
No, sir.
Okay. So everyone listen carefully. This year we want to complete one investigative project, right or not, in economics? Investigative project. So I will divide the class into some groups. Okay, it's a group activity. For each group I will give one subject. You want to, okay, one topic I will provide you. You want to find it out. Okay, you want to complete that. Clear? So we will create the group within one day. Okay, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will provide you the number of the list of the group, each group there, and you should find out that and want to write that investigative project. That is compulsory for us, right? At the same time, for all 11th class students, one more information is that I already passed that information. You might remembering that related with the mock parliament, right? One or two students they told that they are ready to participate in that. I want the full participation. Almost all the students want to participate in that. Then only we can complete that in a good way or a proper way. Clear? So everyone want to participate that. I will allow you and I will tell you what I want to do in that particular day. Okay, with the short days, I mean with 1 or 2 weeks, we want to complete that activity too. Okay, it's called with the mock parliament. It is not only for the students those who from humanities batch or commerce batch. The science batch students also want to participate. That I will intimate them also. So everyone, I will assign you some particular task. You should learn that properly. You should prepare that and want to participate in that activity. Clear or not? So in the examination, any doubts are there? So in the questions, if you felt bad or you are unable to write the answers, or any such sort of questions are there? Any questions are there like that? You met there? Anyone? Either questions are okay for you? You are able to find that answer. I mean, you are able to write that answer, not to find that answer. Able to write that answer, right? You wrote also. Fine. Many of you. Okay, guys, and we will meet in next class. Okay, so the thing is, want to learn all these things that is beginning from the consumer behavior, and almost all the equations. What is mean by the indifference curve? What is cardinal utility analysis? What is ordinal utility analysis? What is the marginal, diminishing marginal utility? What is total utility? What is average utility? Clear or not? Okay. Then what do you mean by monotonous preferences? Monotonous preferences. Okay. Next one, budget line and the budget constraint. Okay. up to demand curve. What are the factors that basically making changes in the demand? What are the different types of goods? What are the peculiarities of all these types of goods? Everything we want to learn one more time there, and we will complete up the elasticity of demand and demand curve also, and shift in the demand curve. We want to complete that topic also. Then we want to start the chapter from statistics. That's our fifth chapter. While you're completing that, the next topic is that only. What is that? Fifth chapter, arithmetic mean median mode. Okay, clear or not? Okay, the mean median mode, that's our chapter, fifth chapter. That's what the next one after this chapter. Okay, everyone, so do the things what I told now. Okay, learn it properly, and we will meet in the next class. Okay, fine.